Don't forget to suck some titties.
I'm doing it. I'm day trading. That's right. Today, recording this on Saturday, February 15th, 2025. I've done it for 2 days. I started this past Thursday and Friday. And I gotta say, I am hooked. I am locked in. I haven't been this excited in quite some time. And for context, I've lost $30 technically. But you know how they get you? You get that one win. I made a $120 pure profit in a trade. And I did it in 30 minutes. I bought an option. For no one that knows, basically, you buy an option. You basically buy, I bought I bought 2 or 3 contracts. Overall, I spent $60 on the contract. And I made $120 a profit. Now, the 20 profit, that's actual profit, not including the 60. So really, I made like $180, but $120 of it was profit. And I'm like, wow. I made $120 in 30 minutes. I am averaging $240 an hour. That's the poor boy logic I have. But I didn't really think it like that, but it's crazy how when you work hourly jobs, you start thinking like, even my highest paid job, how many hours of work would I have to do to get this? And you're like, wow. And what did I do? I clicked some buttons, bought, and then I sold it. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a deceptive model. Now, I know the technicality of the stock market. I know what you're really doing. You're holding something till it becomes more valuable and it's bought off you because it's valuable, and it's this constant of people paying more and more money, funneling in this system. But goddamn, it doesn't even feel real. And that was like at 10:30 a.m. And then you know how the rest of the 5.5 hours went? My Pepsi stock, zilch, went the complete opposite direction. Chipotle, meh. Disney, eh. Google's the shit that pissed me off. Like, absolutely nothing of substance from that. Nvidia, it was going up and up. Then the second I buy it, stagnant. And so overall in the 2 days, I essentially lost $30 when you break everything down. So I basically worked for free. But I've never had so much fun working for free. And you know what they say, when you lose $30, make it a career. That's how you know you love it. I love this shit. I'll be honest, I'm a beginner. I'm a novice. I am probably easily being taken advantage of right now. By all means, if this is what being taken advantage of is all about, I'm loving it. Don't get McDonald's stock. This shit is expensive. But yeah, the stock market is BK. They're having it their way with me right now. But no, man, like in all seriousness, like I know it's like, oh, you lost $30. How do you think you're good at it? I really think I'm starting to have an eye for things. You know, I think I'm naturally able to look at something and be like, that ain't worth a shit. I'm going to short sell it. But yeah, I've been day trading, and you know, something about it feels right. You know, no financial background per se, so there's going to be people with the jokes. I'm not even sitting here saying it's going to be a lucrative financial endeavor, because when you do research on it, a lot of people that it takes some time. Like, you're going to not struggle at first, but you're going to go through the fluctuations up and down. You learn the most from your losses in life. But it's funny how when it comes to the grand scheme of life, if you learn from your losses, it's an admirable thing. But God forbid if you lose $100 trading in the stock market, you're like this deficient piece of shit asshole who can't do shit. You're just wasting your money. You're a degenerate to society. I'll tell you what this past couple of days has really exposed to me. It is crazy how much money is out there. How much money is being thrown around. Like, I know we hear the numbers like trillions of dollars, I think the U.S. in total has like $60 trillion worth of assets or some shit. And you really break down, like, bro, like, a company can lose like 200 billion in a day. Like the whole Nvidia thing months ago. I've been going down this deep rabbit hole, becoming obsessed, bro. But like deeper than just like the companies, the stocks, like really how this money shit works. And this is where the money's at. It's weird how the finance is where the money's at. Like, you think there's a trade-off. No pun intended. The crazy thing is when you are doing this, like, you become kind of, it does just become numbers on a screen, but you do realize it is real money. So that attachment of like, oh, I accrued this money through this stock market. Who cares if I just lost $200? Where if you lose $200 out of your account, in your bank account, you'd be like, what the fuck? Freaking out. But like, you lose $200. It's name of the game, you know? Because you know how quick things could turn around. You can make 500. But the looseness with money is what's insane to me. Like, even if you have no interest in day trading or trading or the stock market. And before this, I really did not give a shit. I always felt like it's a scam. And to an extent, it's an odd thing because there is a morality to it that's kind of fucked up. For every person that's winning, there's someone that's losing. That's kind of how it works. And on top of that, the fucked up part is you can literally guess that a company is going to dive down. Like, you can, like, oh, this company is going to lose a shitload of money. Let me make some money. Like, that's kind of fucked up. That'd be like betting that your best friend is going to, like, fuck up his life. Like, hey, next 2 years, I'm buying the put that he's going to put down his whole family, fuck up his whole life, get addicted to heroin. And I'm going to 5 times my profit on that. I'm going to 200 exit. That's the craziest part. Like, you can bet on things going great, make money. You could bet on things go in the complete opposite direction and probably make more money. That's the real fucked up part. But look, when you're just trying to make a few bucks, morality goes out the window. I don't have to worry about HR. But one thing I will say, this is not an ad for trading, right? Because I do think you need to be careful. Only be willing to lose. You got to treat it like gambling, but at the same time, it's different than gambling, but it's also a semblance of gambling because you can do all the research you want and things like you could do all the research, the technical, like spend hours and hours, weeks and months before making a long-term investment in something. And all the things can be looking right. And then all of a sudden you put something in and 3 months later, shit drops. And that value of your stock is worth shit. If not, it's free falling. You're investing. No one's going to want to buy it. And you're kind of stuck with it. And you're just kind of hoping that the shit is coming back to normal. Investing is a fun because it looks like, hey, if I just put some money in something, the work will do itself. And it is that. Which is also dangerous because since you don't have the physical attachment to like you did something for that money. The only reason why you're making money is because you put your own money that you already had at risk to lose. So that's what makes it valuable is the risk aspect. It's a dangerous game. But unfortunately, to make real money in this world, you got to risk it. But when you see how much money, like there are like... I think it's like I forgot what the stat was, but there could be just of a single company stock. I think it was like Apple stock. Their stocks trade hands 2.4 million times a day. That means people that are literally just like, hey, sell it, make a few dollars, sell it, buy, sell. It's literally this constant thing. It almost feels like its own secular world, like it's not really part of life. And that's also dangerous. And look, so I'll be the first to tell you. I use the Robinhood app, right? I think it's very not safe, but it's very user friendly, regardless of your knowledge of it, which is also the dangerous aspect. They can capitalize. I'm very knowingly like if there wasn't an app this easy to use, and you still have to know what the shit means, but you do a couple days of just obsessing over stuff, you could figure the main stuff out. But that's also the dangerous part, is that when there's not much of a barrier to entry, it creates a lot of false belief. It creates a lot of amateurs that can be taken advantage of. And that's one issue. But I think it also can intimidate in a ways people who have money and invest in the traditional way. Because it makes it, no one likes it when people who they don't feel should be a part of something that doesn't deserve to have stake in investment. Because the word investing has to have a capital or rich component. Investing is only something people of means have to do. That's like the perception. And without a lot of capital, it's going to be you can make some gains and yield returns and put into a S&P or an index fund or a savings account for it to grow, and all that shit's great, but unless you have a good amount there to begin with for it to grow to be able to survive on, it's very minimal what it can really do for you. It really goes to show how much, like, I know I keep going back to this, but you're really just looking at, like, you're watching this shit. There's hundreds of thousands, millions of shares in a company, and people are just, here you go, have it. Nope, I want it. It's just back and forth. It's literally like, it's really absurd. It doesn't even feel real. Maybe the frequency can only happen because now it's very internet. It's very commercialized, but also it's become kind of like fun more. It doesn't even feel like it's like you see a number on a screen. That's enough dopamine. No meaning the rhyme there. But you also gotta be careful, because if you go down the rabbit hole, you don't want to be a cautionary tale of someone who invested in some, and you build your portfolio to, let's just say you start with a small amount. Like I just put 350 to begin with, and my mentality is like, if I can't grow this with 350, I probably don't deserve to really be in this. Manage what you have, try to grow with the little you have, build a little bit, and then progress from there. It's probably when you keep putting more money in that you don't really have the means to do yet, you're just kind of giving yourself false belief that you have more than what you really have. So you don't want to be one of those that grew their account to 100K, right? They grew over a year, making good quality, consistent profits. And then they have 100K, and then they're like, fuck it, I'm going all in. I'm selling a call, or I'm selling a put, and then that shit just bottoms out, and it's an unlimited fall where it is endless how much you can lose depending on how far that shit drops. And the next thing they lost 70K off a single decision just because they wanted to go to that next level. And I say that knowing what I'm getting myself into and playing it smart for right now. But the point of the matter is, I'm really excited for this. I think trying different things I'm sorry, I didn't even know this cat was next to the Wi-Fi. She's just staring at me. Mimi. Trying things that you never thought you would try. I never thought I would do stock market anything. I always felt like, I don't know what the fuck this looks at. Like my grandfather, that's like his thing. He's a long-term investor into things like day trading. It seems very childish, to be honest. Like, it doesn't seem like for the pureness of what the stock market's supposed to be, but it kind of is like a way for quick money if you're smart about it. But it's also a very quick way to lose money too. Day trading, it feels like it's for the people that don't have patience in long term, so they just keep funneling money in and out for the long term investors to grow. That's probably what it really is. That's probably really what the ploy of the game is. When really, there's probably a balance you need. You need to have the long term, and then you need to be able to have some short term hits, for that immediate gain. So you can use that money to invest into more. But I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to be like, if I get to a certain amount where it's like, damn, that's a decent amount of money. Probably going to withdraw it, a good amount of it. Keep like a fifth of it in there, or like, let's say I were to withdraw like 15K, right? What I would probably do, and I know you got to think about the taxes, because once you make over a certain amount, the taxes, right? But if you're making that much amount, you probably already set like, hey, I'm really diving into making this, so I'm willing to the tax part. I think if I were to get to that point where I'm able to withdraw a decent amount of money, that's when I would get with the tax person and really like break this down, all that stuff. And I would probably keep like 2,500 to 3,000 and kind of continuously grow that because you want to actually feel like it's real money. Like I understand the more money you can invest more. At the same time, when you don't have enough capital in your account to just be like, hey, if I lose this 20K, fuck it. What are you going to do? Like, no, I want to actually reap my own fucking benefits. But investing's real. And it's something that I've never really been into. But I think the excitement of trading, the adrenaline, like how focused and locked in you have to be to really be successful. From a person who lost $30 in the first 2 days. But I had a moment of like, I think I figured this shit out. And then you realize real quickly, oh, fuck. You see nothing but the red. I'm in the red. I'm out of the money. But as you can see on my face, like I'm just like excited about talking about like the excitement, the fun of like when you're excited about something, you're willing to put in the work. And it doesn't even feel like you're putting in work. Your interests just align in that world. Now, I'm careful not to become obsessive, right? But could you imagine the greatest life to have would be day trading and podcasting? That'd be like the best fucking jobs in the world. And a lot of taxes. But the best fucking jobs in the world. Thank God I don't have a lot of money. Because I'd be like, day trade, like shit, I make $10 million a year off this podcast. Yeah, let me $3 million of it day trading. And I wouldn't do that, but still. I'll probably, the more money I made, I probably would do it less and less because the fear of that, but I know it's easier said than done. Everyone says that. And the second they get some money, like, I think like anything is just about being safe. I'm fortunate enough to really have the support around me. Not necessarily financial support, but just people that don't judge too much. And me and my buddies, it's funny, my buddy introduced it. He introduced day trading. Like something he was starting. Not even like he's just like showing us. And my other friend, he was a lot more interested. He hasn't done it yet, but I think he's going that direction. He's a lot more conservative. He's much more knowledgeable of this shit. That's the crazy part. And we met up a few weeks ago. Kind of showed me, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. And, the more and more I'm just kind of looking into things, I'm like, you know what, it seems it. And one night, I just said, fuck it. Wednesday night, I said, fuck it. I'm creating an account. I was like, let's just try it. And I was very cautious. I did as much research as you may think at the time. And I was like, well, I didn't lose the money the first day. That's a positive. I didn't lose any money. I actually gained $12, But yeah, me, and I think doing it with a group, I think both, like, we're going to kind of start like doing it. I'm going to do it every day. Like I'm locked in. Next week, Monday through Friday, bro, lock in. I'm going to wake up early. Stock market opens at 9:30. Start seeing, like, knowing what I want to look into, look at what's happening, kind of. Like, literally, as I'm day trading, dude, I am, like, all I'm doing is have my headphones, YouTube, and I'm just listening to finance live shows about the market. Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg. And it's not to absorb, like, take their advice. It is just to get in that realm of the world that you're unfamiliar with, understanding the lingo, understanding how the media affects. I'll be going into this. I didn't realize till like Friday how much impact of news reports. I didn't realize the impact of earnings report. Like the earnings report was like, I was like, why the fuck? Like it wasn't even stuff I invested in, but in the news are like, fucking Nike's earning reports, or this company's earnings report came out and their stock went up like $10 a share, which is insane. Like much an earnings report, if it exceeds expectations, shows a projection, so their share price is more valuable. People are just eating that shit up. Earnings report, they don't meet expectations or dips like Disney because they lost like 700,000 subscribers to their Disney Plus shit or whatever the fuck. And so they're dipped. And that's why when I had my Disney stock, I fucked up there. Because I didn't realize, but that's part of the process. You don't really understand it, but you probably wouldn't understand that until you actually have done it in real time, right? But yeah, like just being in that world for like 5.5, like it's actually pretty draining. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know you're sitting at a computer, whatever, but it's just like listen to that shit all day, and then I would try to listen to something else, and then I would be like out of the zone. I'm not real. I'm like, fuck it, Yahoo Finance. Keep feeding me shit that I don't know matters or not. But I didn't take any of the advice. It's just to be current, right? But most of the research is done outside of it. So the whole point of this whole episode, whatever, I don't know the whole episode is going to be about it. You know, what I'll probably do is by the end of next week, I will have an honest report for you guys. Like I will tell you how much money I made or lost, my assessment of it, things I love about it, things I still enjoy, stuff that was the butterfly stage, the loving stage, like I'm so excited about it, bro. Like, bro, I think as the days go on, I'll probably have more of a goal of how much money I want to make a day. But I think when you're first starting out, you just need to get familiar, take the little profits, really learn like what you're looking for without investing too much capital that you're not sure what you're using yet. So yeah, it's good times out here. It's exciting. It feels like it's crazy, right? You get to certain points in life where you're like, I didn't know when I quit my job the first time before I got fired the second time. I didn't know what I want. I just know like I just don't want to do this anymore. I am burnt out. I'm tired. I'm not passionate about this. I'm not willing to put in the work it takes to be successful at this at the expense of my personal life. And it's been a couple months, and I was kind of trying this out, really just relaxing. It's where you just fall into things, and all it takes is the influence of a friend or your environment, your algorithm. And next thing you know, I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to start. I was waiting till I was around people because we were going to have like a group day where we just all are in the same room, just day trading together. And they were going. So I would have that comfort of someone like, hey, what about this? What is it? And I was like, I just got to figure this shit out myself, But that's the fun part, man. I think just excitement in life is what it's about. Day trading makes my dick hard. Yeah. Yeah. On to the next. Thank you. Next. So speaking of day trading, I've been trading my sanity by day and fucking myself over by night. Yeah, it's a wonderful time to be alive, I think you can't be afraid of debt. And I don't mean literal, physical, financial debt. I think you can't be afraid of kind of, you can't be afraid of having less than what you usually have, because simply the less you have, the more you can actually focus on what matters, because you don't really have the distractions. You don't have the obligation. You don't have the keeping up with the Joneses, because the more you keep up with the Joneses, the less you can see outside of how to exceed the Joneses. See what I did there? Oh, my parents are listening to this and they're like, oh my God, we lost another one. This guy's day trading. Oh, fuck, Clint. You irresponsible fuck. Save your money. I'm like, but Mom, if this goes well, I could save a lot of lives. I could get us all out of debt, Mom. It's where I was listening to a podcast earlier, right? Shocker. And Alex Hormozy, he's a business entrepreneur, the owner of acquisition.com. Like, he's pretty well known in the podcast, the internet space. And I don't really like listen to entrepreneur because I'm not really into entrepreneurship like that. Like, I don't have the desire to like create a business, maybe do something I enjoy and make it a business. But I'm not like trying to create like something from the ground up per se, except, this. I just want to live comfortably, but not have to have like a boss. I think that you get to a point like, that's what I want. I'm not anti-boss. Like, I'm not one of these, like, if you have a boss, your life sucks. But when you kind of run your own world, it's a little bit better. And some, just listen to him specifically. One thing that stood out to me is him, not that I really have this issue, like, I'm very fortunate, but his dad, wanted him to be, business, this, that, and the other. Or some specific, I forgot what it was, but it was like years in his younger years, he basically had the knowledge, I'm either going to kill my dreams or kill your dreams. And by that is like, you do what your dad wants him to do because there's security, because, back in, the economy being good, the 50s, 60s, 70s, like, security mattered. Nowadays, those things with inflation and shit seem so obsolete, and you have to do so much more to have so much less. And the ideas of like passive income, having money work for you, or like starting from scratch, potentially doing some where if it bottoms out, you're fucked. Like, that is a real concern, and I get it. But your quality of life is still not great if you're doing something you don't enjoy. Because it's going to leak on to everything else. I think that's always my argument with this shit. Is like, I get it. Security. Good job. Like, there's nothing wrong with those things. But if you're not doing something that you can rationalize doing for the betterment of your family or your kids, or if you actually want something that you want to do, like, and make like, it may take some years for it to be worth the shit. But you have to go through that process, so when you do make some money, you know what the fuck you're doing. So for him to go to his dad and be like, yeah, I'm doing this fitness coaching stuff. I want to own a gym. Like, my goal is to, own a gym and all that. And he did that. And he said his relationship was strained with his dad for quite some years until it kind of worked out. And that doesn't necessarily make his dad a bad person, but it's because you got to understand, like, the time frame they're coming from. Like, nowadays, it's a lot easier, per se, to do to start a business yourself, or to do something that creates income that no one ever thought, like, anything could be created into income now. Like, anything. You can literally have different avenues of income for the same thing. People that do YouTube or make videos, they have the YouTube, then they have Patreon, then they have, like, podcasting, revenue from audio, from ads. Like, there's so many streams of revenue. that you do one thing and make multiple if it's valuable enough. And that's just kind of crazy to think, like, you know, like, oh, you could lose all your money. It's like, yeah, I could also make a lot of money too. But I know with this other thing I'm doing, my market is capped. Like, I could work my way up to be the top of the chain. And the top of the chain in that field is pretty capped. And for me to really make money, you have to go to like the upper level, move to a whole different state and country potentially to be a, you know, executive, you know, whatever. And then that's when you get paid in stocks to become Brian Nichols of Chipotle/Starbucks. Dude, that dude took over Starbucks for like 3 months and he's like, yep, I'm getting my 90 million payout already. This guy, gotta give it to him. You know, this man's like, Chipotle, great. Starbucks, it's like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna increase your stocks, and I'm gonna do like these CEO salaries are insane, bro. Their base pay, his base pay, like they broke it. His Starbucks base pay is $50,000, right? His actual salary is $50,000, and the rest are in stocks. And the reason why these companies do it, they say, is because we pay you in stocks. There's more potential for money. And it incentivizes that person to make the value of their business better, which makes sense. It also makes it where the shareholders pay your fucking CEO and not you, you know? Like, let's just call it what it is. He gets paid $90 million in stocks, bro. $90 million. That's like, that shit's fucking insane, man. Yeah, but most of it's taxed, you know? It's like, so fucking what? He has 50 million instead of 90. God damn. Like, and that's the vicious cycle. Yeah, when you really think, like, not to go back to the stock market, but I'm so obsessed. You really think about, like, you invest, let's say you were to buy a couple shares. You spend $30 on a Starbucks share. You project it to go the right way. You know, you can make, you know, like $90 a profit. Potentially. It going the right way. Potentially more. 90, 100, 120. A pure profit. You do that. Like, even if you don't care about anything else, just invest in the stuff you want, project it, use that money to actually buy the products in the store. So that money you put in there to make the money, you take it out, bring it back, pay in their stores, and they get more money. That's how these companies get a shitload of fucking money. I will say, if I ever own a company with stocks, bro, and we go public with stocks, I might just pay my employees with stock. Like here's a minimum payment. Like, this is how you really show you care about your employees. Be like, hey, if you work here for X amount of years, we really evaluate you're part of the company. Like, you really want to be here for the long term. All right, we could change your pay option. Like, hey, we only max out of paying this much. But since you've been here, we can pay that, and we can add X amount of stocks. And, like, you take the hit. If the stock goes down, we will cover the loss, and you just get your base pay. Stock goes up, you get the added bonus. I think that would be the most fair pay structure. But in order to do that, you got to offer those things at the lower levels. But they only offer those to executives or corporate management. Like, if you really want to incentivize people to, like, care about the company, show them how the company, like, really works. The market value of it. Why what we do in the stores matters. People's experience here matters for the share, which matters to your increased pay. So maybe people will have at least a potential to, like, enjoy coming to work being passionate. Like, people will come to work to get their paycheck, but if you want people that care about a company that they don't give a shit about, have them be like, hey, and it'll keep people caring about it. It will make people care about your company. Pay them in potential stock. I'm not saying give them 1,000 shares of stock. Be like, hey, each year you're here, we will add 5 shares or whatever the fuck. And that could be the difference. Dude, they could get a couple extra. They could get a couple extra $100 a month, 1,000, couple thousand, 5, like that shit. And you cover the losses. Like, that's really what a good business would do. Like, you can cover the losses if people take this route. And they're committed to your company. You will cover those losses because those people that are there consistently are what is keeping your company's consistency. So you award the consistency with the base pay. We can't pay you more than this off base, but we can add this to it. And this is how you'll get increased pay. So, I don't know. Just a thought. I know. It's a little out there. But the ones that are out there have the biggest reward. Yeah. Only if they were stock for prison. Oh, yeah. Because I would always click the up on that. Call, going to the top, take it to the moon. I tell you what, like there's a fascination watching things crash. My favorite, this whole process, like one of my favorite movies, even before I started getting into this, what is this movie called The Big Short? For some reason, it's so well directed. It's so simplified to explain to you the housing crisis, what happened. And that exposed that people make money off things going down the shitter. That's what exposed me, that movie. Like, oh. And then you see it when you start doing it, you're like, oh, okay. It's one of the great movies I would say the past decade, at least. But I would say even 20 years. It really is so well put together. Like how explaining the little side tangents of explaining using cool examples. Simplifying the ego, the arrogance of people in finances. Because all people care about is their own pockets. They do not care about they sell you a house that you can't afford because it's not their problem once it's moved to another bank. And these people that did these subprime shit, like, they were not really punished. It wasn't really illegal. It was just immoral. But it technically wasn't illegal. That's the fucked up part. And, there was a comment I was watching on their video. It said, people who sell drugs would get 10 plus years, but some of these people only get 2 to 3 at max. And I think what that is because it's pretty obvious selling drugs is wrong to the common public. But unless you're really into finance and this type of stuff, like, only people who really know how fucked up it is. Where the common person isn't worried about some asshole on Wall Street who, lied about, the value of equity, cold calling an individual who has $20,000 in their bank and said, invest $10,000 in this bullshit chop shop kitchen. They did a study that, pharmaceuticals is one of the crazy ones. But yeah, I know I'm going all over the place. Sorry. I'm just so locked in. And then a week from now, I'm going to be here like, guys, I fucked up. But I'm going to stand up tall. I'm going to show you my profit or loss. And I'm going to just put it all out there. So, that's what it's all about. Yeah. But, They want to end the show here. Keep it short. You know, we got to take the lady out for dinner. And before she gets home. So that was episode 328 of the Often Be Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe to the notification bell, and support ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to suck some titties. And the cat looked over to me when I said that. She knows the thing. She got some nice titters. But yeah. Have a great day, morning, night, and evening. And remember, invest responsibly. Don't lose $20 because you got low over your skis. Meep, meep. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. My calves. Oh, yeah. I went axe throwing.